Morning YouTube, it's Crawley. I'm just out and about. Another day, another dog walk, another little video log. I thought I'd just do this today, just have a bit of a catch up with you all. Noticing things that are happening in YouTube land and things that are going on at home. So in my last vlog I mentioned that Mrs. Grawley has autism. All the formal diagnosis has been done, definitely. I thought the last few months was a steep learning curve, but I think this is where the learning really starts. We've got the help of a really good support group. We go to meetings once a month. It's a group of parents who have autistic kids, and we're learning a lot from them. Now that Mrs. Grawley's got a formal diagnosis and everything's done and sorted, we can move on to having the boys tested and see. Sorry, just distracted by the dog there for a second. She's just having a mooch and a wander around the woods. So yeah, it's about having the boys tested. One thing that we found out, and I don't know how much the sound's going to be affected by the wind here, hopefully not too much. But one thing that we found out is there's a gap between 16 and 18. There's very little support for kids with autism, and we found out it's a hugely important time, because at 16, 17 you're going through college, you're getting ready to go to university, and there's no support to get any help or diagnosis or anything. The diagnosis is hugely important because that puts in place a support plan for potentially while he's at university. So it's something that we're trying to find out more about at the moment. We were hoping it can be picked up from the adult side and get an assessment through as an adult as if he was 18. But it's shocking that the schools will only assess and deal with autism up to the age of 16, and then there's nothing until 18, until you're an adult, which is shocking, really. I had a meeting at work yesterday, and it was about how to manage performance and deal with issues and have difficult conversations, and I brought up the topic of, well, how do you deal with this if somebody has autism? And there wasn't really an answer, even though the trainer has a child with Asperger's. In the business world there's very little awareness, let alone training or how to deal with it. I just want to do like little vlogs like this just to raise awareness. You know, there are people around you in your social life, in your work life, that may not even realise that they have autism, but they do, and it causes issues socially and emotionally, and it's something that we need to be aware of. It's not a disease, it's nothing that can be cured. It's somebody with autism of whatever form just has to find coping mechanisms to be able to deal with day-to-day life, and that's what Mrs. Grawley is doing at the moment. She's finding new ways of dealing with things, which is great. Fully supportive of her doing that, and again I'm having to learn, as I said in the last log, how to compromise and accommodate. It's not something that I ask for for sympathy for. It's just the awareness of it. So here we get a bit of a gust, so hopefully it's not drowning me out. Away from autism. Excuse me. Mayhem painting challenge. I noticed going on several YouTube channels, and so I've been following some of them. I don't have an awful lot of free time to be able to watch everybody's, but it's been interesting watching the progress of some of the projects that are going on, and that quite a few are going for like this level 4 with all the fluff and everything else. So interesting series. Obviously we've got the rest of May. We're about halfway through now, so a lot of projects are kind of in progress. People ahead of schedule, people maybe struggling with the schedule, but well done guys for taking part. So I didn't have time to do anything this year. So I just do a little bit of painting as and when I can. I'm just in the process of decanting all my paints into little squeezy bottles. I ordered some, and so they've arrived, so it's a painstaking task diluting the paints, put them in little squeezy bottles, but ultimately that will help preserve the paint. It'll make them last longer. Plus it's easier to use in my airbrush. It's not a case of having to mix and dilute and everything else. They'll pretty much be ready to go with maybe a slight dilution. So what else has been happening? Oh yes, Mrs. Crawley decided she wanted to do a YouTube channel, so she signed up for one, and it's mainly so she can reply to my videos and everybody else's videos in her own identity. On the back of that, she decided she wanted to start making some videos. Only problem is, she doesn't want to speak on camera, and she doesn't want to face on camera, which creates a challenge. So we've done one, which is pretty much a series of still pictures of her artwork with some music and some text. I'm slowly trying to convince her to do one of her own, actually to speak on camera. So fingers crossed guys, give her some encouragement, and you never know, one day we might actually get Mrs. Crawley on camera. In her own right, she has the tag, the nickname, whatever you want to call it, the pseudonym of Icy. So if you see anything from Icy, or Icy inspired, or Mrs. Crawley, that's the missus. So if you see her popping up, say hello to her. She will respond back. We'll see how that one goes. What else has been happening? Busy time at work, as always. We've just had a shuffle around with some teams, alignments with shift patterns. So I've lost 4 members of my team. Not necessarily people I want to lose. They're good people, they perform well, they come in, they do the job to a high standard, as I expect. And I've lost 4, but I've also gained 4. So the team size has stayed the same, but it means overall pretty much all the managers where I work have all got fairly even team sizes now. So it's a bit of a fairer workload. So that's something that always happens. It's always going to happen, and it's a case of cracking on and getting on with it. You know, that's just part of life, as everything else is. Anyway, I notice I'm coming up for about 10 minutes and I've waffled about shite. Well, not all shite, but just a 10-minute waffle. So I'll leave this video here, and I'll catch you on the flip side on another video on Grawlys Lair. So for now, take care.